welcome to the house party. It's a pleasure to have you. Can I have your phone, please, Sophie?
Yeah, I'm worried it's the wrong
Sophie's been promoting, but out the wrong links to people.
I do this.
I need to make sure that everybody is happy and ready. So if you are ready with your bevy, let me in the chat room that you're ready with your bevy. So then I know that you're here, because at the minute it feels a bit quiet, do you know what I mean?
Ready with your bevy.
Ready with your bevy.
Yeah, I've sent that link to everyone.
Okay, good. Good.
It doesn't work, does it?
I think it might just be your phone. Think to myself,
Okay.
and see what happens.
Oh, really?
Honestly, you
dear.
just can't get the staff these days.
How's everyone? Have we enjoyed the sun today? I'm well and truly cooked. I posted a selfie this time and a selfie today, and I'm in different colour. Is it literally... Oh. Heat stroke. Bit of tan. I'm really hoping...
Yeah, it works fine. It's just your phone's a piece of poo.
Oh, it's just my phone. And breathe.
But I still need people to type in that. Firstly, so that I know that it works, and secondly, so that I know you're there. So if you're there, ready with bevy, how do you spell that? Perfect. Using a Y. Ready? Got it. She's on it.
I'm on now. Great.
Awesome. Now, as far as I can tell, that I can do Raphi with the bready. You see that?
Oh yeah, I'm not in this. That's
Raphi with the bready. That's nice. I like that little pun. Thanks. Rolo, do you not think that I look like a female who's transitioned and is back from a holiday on Thailand?
I think you look great.
And an elephant and explored who they are as a person. And he's got his beer ready with his bevy. Is anybody else ready with their bevy, please, and thank you. Also, if you are on the FB, what I need you to do is give it a share at the bottom, down here somewhere, and start a little watch party. We had over 1,000 people viewing, and now there's 13 of you. And I love you all to pieces, but I want those other 987 people, please, and thank you.
Yes.
So watch parties.
Everyone.
Also, I can't. When I type in the chat, it only posts in YouTube and Twitch. So if you are on Facebook, I'll respond to you using my face. Rhoda has arrived. You look lit. Thanks. Let's have a quick look at who we've got on this week after we together. So here's a look at what Jon looks like. Alright, this week on the house party we have an amazing human being. I've known him for about 5 seconds and he's an absolute legend. His name is Jon. And Jon, why don't you tell people a few of the credits and things that you've been up to in your career and life?
First of all, Ben, thank you so much for having me on. A list of credits. So I've worked on EastEnders, Silent Witness, the Brit Awards. I was a contestant on Take Me Out.
What are you benching at the minute, Jon? 180.
I had a short fight sequence with Dwayne Johnson and Hobbs and Shaw.
What you got, big man?
Did some stunts with Doctor Strange. Oh, and I more recently worked on The Eternals, which is the latest Marvel film. Dude, thank you. Real pleasure. I'll speak to you soon.
Right, I've had this problem with people before where they go, oh, your internet is shit, it keeps cutting out. I don't know if that's the case because I'm streaming to loads of different platforms at once. I'm not sure what the deal is.
I think it's probably because we're streaming to the different platforms and we have normal people internet.
We do just have normal
We're just
people
normal
internet.
people. Great.
So, but that means I can't do Facebook and YouTube. Is the only problem with that.
Yeah.
But if it's really awful, then I don't know what to suggest.
It's not that bad.
Is it bearable, Andy? Could you shut up, please? No, I'm kidding. I love you.
Wait, I'm just listening.
All right.
Oh yeah, your sound completely keeps cutting.
Does it?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Good. Hey, Rolo, this would be a good chance to introduce some. What's the rules? Every time there's you drink, this is one of those times. How bad is it? Is it really bad? Is it, do we stop and start again? Because I will stop and start again. Film sound was fine, but crackly now.
No, it's just crackly.
But that's not good. People don't want to listen to that. Don't want to listen to that. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try this. It's going to sound bad for a second. Have a little listen to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Sophie's. Oh, you can't see it. Hang on. I'll show you what. I'll show you what she's. Here she is with her headphones in.
Being the producer, I'm just double checking everything's okay.
Okay.
With a Bellini, because gotta do it in style.
Tom is saying YouTube is working better than Facey B, which might be. Look, the software that I'm using.
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So much better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I did some changes. Hopefully that's improved it. Andy, have a listen now, because it's mostly you that I'm trying to sort out here. Have a little listen. Let me know what you think about it. Johnny said earlier he's already had his bevy, and I'm furious. Get another bevy.
Yes.
Much better. Okay, we fixed it. I'm technical genius.
You're amazing.
Technical genius.
You are amazing.
The problem was I was trying to get it to do more than it can. So sorry, machine. Right, so that we had a look at John, and now let's have a look at Raphi and see what she's bringing to the table. So we've got her on board a little bit later on. Before that, I wanted to do a little interactive party thing. So I've got my bevy. It's a classic, not Stella. Let's have a little look at what Sophie's bringing. What's she got?
Bellini.
Now, as you see in the top left, something interesting is happening. And I have to say thank you and praise be to Connor for being the master of all drinking games.
Yeah,
and for inspiring us.
Connor's great at drinking games.
Sam says, I look so much more different without the beard. Thank you for joining, Sam. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Right, so I'm going to flick over to... We're going to the races, my friends. Off to the races, right. So if I've changed singing, so you might have to check the audio.
Oh, jeez. Right, okay, I'm
Just
on it.
have a little listen. Right, here's how this game works. I don't know if you can see me, because I can't see that. I can't see the screen anymore. Here's how this game works. You, as the player, are going to make a bet on a particular horse. Now, in this case, these horses are represented by the Ace of Diamonds, the Ace of Clubs, the Ace of Hearts, and the Ace of Spades. How it works is you place your bets. Now, this bet could be anything that you decide within your house. The drinking version would be to bet sips. So, for example, if I were to bet 2 sips on the Ace of Diamonds, I would have 2 drinks in order to place my bet.
Sounds fine.
Thank you very much. And if I won, if Ace of Diamonds won, I could distribute 4 drinks. So you distribute twice as many as you drink. Now, this isn't the only variation that you can play. If you're not playing with bevies, that's absolutely fine. You can do it with water and just get stupid hydrated. Or you can bet chores. That's something that me and Sophie started doing a little while back, playing cards. Who cleans the kitchen most of the week? Who does the laundry? Spoiler alert, it's mostly Sophie because I just won't do it. So, many different ways to play this game. The way the game works is, this pack of cards here goes down face up. And as you can see, hopefully, it is the 4 of spades. Which means the Ace of Spades moves forward 1. Yes? Once every single one of these cards has passed a line, this card gets turned over. It's the King of Diamonds. God damn it, Diamonds has let me down again. Diamonds will move back. So if it's super clear, this one brings a card forward. This one, once everyone has passed the line, brings it back. Capiche? Banging. That's how the game works. So everybody needs to place your bets within your household, please and thank yous, while I get this set up again. In the meantime, have a little chat with Soph.
Is it just me?
It's just you now.
Hi. Yeah, I must admit, this game, it can get really messy with water when you're hydrating. Just because you get really into it. I've actually never been to the races. Have you ever been to the races?
I've never been to the races. No, I'm not Polish enough.
So, I don't know if this is how into it people get, but it gets pretty serious. And I tend to always pick the winning card, which is normally the hearts.
My knees look like stumps on the camera. I do have full legs. They look like
Ah!
wandering hot dogs. Shep is on the coffee. That's absolutely fine.
I'll be wide awake.
Yeah, you'll be buzzing. Right, if everybody is ready, first game, let me know what you're betting on. I'm going to go diamonds, I think, for this. I've bet 2 on diamonds.
I'm going hearts for 2.
Going hearts for 2. All right, here we go. And we're off. So we've got a spade. Spades moves forward, clear into the lead. Nice start. All clubs are joining neck and neck with spades. Then we have another spades are already in a very early advantage position. Oh, hearts now joining in league with the clubs. Spades again taking us forward to the third leg. The hearts have gone forward once more. Diamonds have yet to take off. Diamonds finally in the league. We have our first... God damn it, it's diamonds again. Clubs to take the ace of clubs forward. Then we have the hearts taking us neck and neck with the spades. Hearts again overtaking the spades.
See?
Spades again.
Oh.
Neck and neck, heart and spades. Clubs, diamonds yet to get off the starting line. Clubs again. Neck and neck with all 3 except the diamond. Spades forward. Diamond finally getting a look in. Spades in the last leg of the race. Diamonds finally getting to the back. We turn this over. Diamonds move back. Diamonds again refusing to give up. Clubs just behind the spades. We have clubs once again neck and neck with the spades. As being spades and hearts now just joining between the back of the blacks. We have diamonds finally putting forward. It's finally a black card. Clubs is moving back. We have our spade moving forward and spade has won. Whew. What a race, man. That was insane. Who had money on spades? Did anybody have money on spades? Neither of us did.
No, I was close. You failed miserably.
I always bet on diamonds. And it always lets me down. Can we just appreciate how awful that is? It was literally on the starting line for most of that race. That's abysmal. I'm actually furious.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to set up for another race. Wait, what time is it? Is it 9:15 already?
It's 9:15.
Hey guys, we haven't got time for another race. It's time to meet our first guest.
It's time to meet.
Right, now you might have heard of Keane Reeves. You might have heard of Dwayne Johnson. This man has worked with both and he is honestly the nicest guy in the world.
He is very, very nice. Really nice.
So that's my ugly mug. We don't need to see that. Jon is on his way. Here he is.
Hello.
Hello!
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Let me just turn you up on my computer.
Fantastic.
Get you sounding all nice. How is that for the viewers? Can you guys hear okay? Is that loud enough? Do I need to put it on the big screen?
I'll check it when it's up.
Jon, how are you, my friend?
I am really well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fantastic, thank you. We just had a little race. I don't know if you've seen it. We had a little card race. It was pretty exciting. I wet myself.
Did you win? Did you win?
No, I bet on diamonds and diamonds did not pull through for me.
Oh.
I was gutted. I'm going to put you on the big screen because that allows me to hear you a bit better. Yeah, I know. What are you on tonight there, Jon? What are you sipping?
Oh, just some green tea in my Doge mug. Do you like it?
You have to pay respects to the meme crafters.
Oh yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. God, I love this dog.
Do you have a dog?
I wish I did. As luck would have it, I'm allergic to fur. It is the worst curse in the
Oh
world.
no, dude. I'm so sorry. Johnny says you look gorgeous, by the way. I just thought I'd throw you that compliment for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, of course, I can't see the comments.
Yeah, everyone else can see them. I'll dictate them to you, don't worry.
Thank you very much.
So, John, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with the title that you have when you come up on a Zoom conversation, where it says "Doctor."
I'm not a medical doctor, and when there is a medical emergency on a plane, they do look at me. But no, so I have a doctorate in metaphysics and a doctorate in leadership and coaching.
How do you find the time?
I don't waste any time whatsoever. I make sure that I'm always doing something. I'm always productive. So throughout this whole lockdown, however many weeks it's been, I had one day off. So I always make use of my time.
Wow. Dude, that's awesome. I also saw, I had a little stalk of you on YouTube, and you also play piano?
I do, yes. I'm actually about a month away from releasing a piano album.
Are you, are you kidding me?
That's amazing.
Can't wait.
That's insane. All right, so I've actually got my first question in the chats to kick us off. They obviously saw your promo where you were in Hobbs and Shaw, and Pete would like to know, is The Rock easy to fight?
He is, I tell you what, he is exactly how people describe him to be. He's larger than life, yet so down to earth. And he was very professional and exceptionally friendly. Every time he threw me over, he would pull me back up. And he'd always say, are you ready? Do you want to go again? Do you want to practice? And I'm like, yeah, let's go again. And he was very encouraging. And I appreciated that because it was the last shot of the day. And it was humbling, to say the least. And the last take, he called me up and said, brother, thank you so much for your time. Your effort will go contribute towards the success of this film. I hope I can work with you again. Thank you so much. And he gave me a hug, fist bumped everyone and walked out. I thought, oh man.
Wow, what a guy.
Yeah.
That's
so cool. He is huge, though. I tell you what, he is absolutely massive.
Right, so let's put this into perspective. I don't know if everybody saw the quick clip that we threw up a little bit earlier. There is a huge height difference. So how tall are you, John?
I'm 5'9" on a good day.
But you're obviously, you bench over 180 kilos. Like, you're a big dude, and you do not like I don't know if it's like forced perspective or something. Like there was a huge difference in height there.
He's 6'5". I believe we weigh about the same, but he seemed to get bigger. He seemed to get bigger, and it was like, oh my goodness, And it's like when he moved his arms around, you see all the muscles and all the veins and the striations. I thought,
oh man, that is crazy. So Rolo, someone in the chat has asked, how do you prepare to fight The Rock?
So how I prepared was how I would prepare for any kind of scary scenario. For instance, if I'm about to do a presentation, I'm about to jump onto the Ben Soizer show, or if I'm about to do a driving test, or if I'm about to fight The Rock, physiologically my body goes through the same things. So my breathing changes, my nervous system changes. So all I have to do is change my breathing back to what it is when it's relaxed, and then I can calm down. So normally when we're nervous, we're like this, you know what I mean? And then you can feel the tension in your body, your shoulders, and as soon as you take really deep breaths, you can actually release the tension. You feel instant release. And so that's what I did. I thought, right, okay, let's do this. Yeah. And because I think you always want to be you always want to be at your best, and it's very difficult to be at your best when you're nervous. So you want to face the situation and not the fear. And how you do that is you control your breathing as best as you possibly can.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's like inspirational.
Can somebody write that down quick before I forget it?
Wow.
I've got it written down somewhere. I'm just reading it off right here.
So there is actually an interesting question in the chat, which I think is quite an interesting one, because when you watch films, particularly with a lot of stunt guys, if you have a protagonist who's kind of moving through a scene and he's kind of knocking off dudes left and right, do each of these guys have a backstory? Do you go in thinking, right, so my name is Matthew and I have a family of 4 children at home and I need to feed them?
Sometimes you do, you know. I mean, if it's for a scene as short as that particular one in Hobbs and Shaw, then maybe not. You're just a thug, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're on set for a longer period of time, for instance, then you will create a scenario in your head about your backstory, who you are, how you came to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think for my character in Hobbs and Shaw, I was just a thug, and, thug and proud.
Also, in the clip, you go, "What you got, big man?" and you sounded super American. That was amazing.
So they added that in post. That wasn't.
No way! Really, mate. Film is just the weirdest thing, isn't it? Like, you just never know.
It really is, yeah.
So I've got a kind of a comment from Tom here. It says it's reassuring to know that he looks out for the stunt guys he works for, and he says he's glad you had a great experience. He also has a question: what got you into being a stuntman?
I've got a martial arts background, and it was always my dream to get into film. I thought, you know, I'd love to play a superhero, and if I can't be a superhero for real, then I'd settle for playing one in a film.
Yeah.
And if I can't be a superhero in a film, then I'll settle for playing a villain. It's fine. And you know, but yeah, I saw an open audition for 47 Ronin about 10 years ago, which is a Keane Reeves film, and I thought, okay, let's give this a shot. And you know, I had just finished studying at the time, and I thought, right, I've got plenty of time now. Let's give this a try. And you know, I auditioned a few times, and then they called me in, and yeah, you know, a few months later, I was on set. I thought, wow, okay, you know, and it was very, you know, it's like an entry level of screen fighting, but you know, I think, you know, I really had a love for it. I thought, I love this. This is awesome. But it's like, I think a lot of martial artists tend to go into stunts, you know what I mean? But these days I try to do a bit more acting, just because my body doesn't recover as quickly as it used to. You know?
Yeah, wow. Well, it's actually how we got in contact with Jon. We well, I say we. Sophie is filming a lockdown series, which is making its debut very soon, and that's actually how they met, and that's how we know Jon. So a couple of really interesting questions on the chat, but before I get into those, the two sort of action heroes of our time, I would say, are Keanu Reeves and Dwayne Johnson, and you've been in a film with both of those, so we've heard about The Rock. Do you have any scoops for Keanu Reeves?
He is the nicest man in the world, honestly. He everything they say about him is true. Like because I didn't have my glasses on me, so I couldn't really see well anyway, and it was dark and smoky. He actually came over, and I had my hands over the fire pit because it was cold, and you know, he just came over and just started talking to me. And the thing is, because he did it so naturally and so organically, I didn't realize it was him. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, wow.
And then when the penny dropped, you know, I mean, I said, oh my God. And then he realized that I realized who it was, but he didn't change his demeanor. All he cared about was, he said, oh, is this your first film? How are you finding it? What do you do when you're not doing film? You know, he just wanted to talk about me. He didn't want to talk about himself. And when everyone else came over, he just wanted to talk to everyone. And, wow. You know, for him, there was just no barrier. Everyone was there to do a job, you know, and, you know, I think he was so humble like that. I thought, you know, that's a very good role model, really good role model, not just in the public eye, but, you know, for people who are working with him. Same with Dwayne Johnson, you know, it's like these are people who are in a very powerful, they're very powerful public figures. And when you actually interact with them in person, you realize actually things that are said about them aren't exaggerated, they're very true. It's very humbling. And I'm like, you know, however far my journey goes, you know, and how far it's come so far, you know, I'm going to be humble all the way, because there are people so much further ahead who are still just so modest and so kind. And I thought, that's a really lovely, attribute and characteristic to follow. So certainly, I look at those guys and I think, thank you for setting the example and, paving the way for the rest of us, and so I'm very grateful for both of those experiences.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Wow. And Johnny has quite rightly said, no one is as nice as John. So if you say they're nice, then we all know you're telling the truth. Pete has a question. What training did you do to become a stuntman? Now, we already know about your martial arts background. So tell us a bit about that.
So generally, if there is a stunt register, which a lot of people train to get onto. So they need to be proficient in various disciplines such as scuba diving, driving, horse riding, martial arts, swimming, and that's five of them. But it's like, so you would need to be proficient in those, get certified in those, and then, you would enter some trials to be accepted onto the stunt register. So personally, I'm not on the register, though I've just been very lucky in that I look a certain way and I'm able to move in spite of my physical size. So, normally it's like if they're looking for, I got a call from a casting director saying, look, you're exactly what we're looking for. I said, really? A bald Asian? and he said, yes. I'm like, okay, cool. And that's, so when I did The Gentleman, for instance, the guy said to me, actually, you had the exact look that we were looking for. I thought, oh, thank goodness. So in terms of training, first of all, you just got to stay in shape. You have to keep practicing all the things that you've. I think it's important to keep on top of the skills that got you there in the first place. It's. I think the Hobbs and Shaw audition was the toughest thing one of the toughest things I've ever done.
Yeah, tell us about it. What did you have to do?
So there was the one guy in the middle, and there was 3 villains, and it was just a choreographed fight scene. And so I played a villain, and we then took turns playing different parts of the villain or of the villains. And it was like, okay, reset, let's go again. Okay, reset, let's go again. Reset. I was like, oh my goodness, and I'm getting really tired here. And the guy who's auditioning us, Greg Rementa, who's I think he was the stunt double for Captain America for one of the films, but he's a choreographer for so many different films. He's amazing. And he said, look, guys, when you get thrown to the ground, remember, you're in pain. It's a struggle to get back up. So act it. And I'm like, actually, I'm not even acting by this point.
I'm exhausted.
It's like, oh. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Andy would like to know, do you know Martin Ford?
Martin Ford, so I've never worked with him. I know people who have worked with him before, seen a few interviews with him, and he's so down to earth in his interviews. He's very honest. And that's such an admirable trait to have, especially someone who, you can't judge a book by its cover, because the guy is undoubtedly massive. He's a monster.
Yeah.
And your first glance is, what on earth is this? But, no, I definitely love to work with him. I'm sure I will at some point. And once again, I will be the smallest man in the room.
It's interesting because Andy and I actually met Martin Ford. He did a tour with his gym, kind of sort of like promoting it and all that kind of thing. And it was, as you say, like I think in general, depending on the field that a person works in, often the biggest guys that you meet are the nicest because they don't have to scrap for anything,
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. This is an interesting question. Pete would like to know: have you ever used your stunt skills in real life? That's a great question.
Stunt skills or like martial arts skills? I assume martial arts skills.
I assume, maybe one of both. I don't know.
Well, I have. So I grew up in Telford, which is in the West Midlands. So you've got Telford, Wolverhampton, Birmingham. And I'll tell you now, I won't go into too much detail, but knife crime is very high there. very, very high there.
Okay.
But I also I've worked as a bouncer as well, and some of the places I've worked at were less than reputable, and of course you have to do everything you can to keep the people safe, the establishment undamaged, whilst keeping yourself safe, whilst being able to have enough control to throw someone out without breaking the law.
Yeah.
That's especially if the guy is under the influence of something. They're under some kind of influence, and they're armed and they have friends. So that's not yet. So there are often times when I have been in that kind of situation, and especially if they are, if they're trained already, they might be in the armed forces and they've had a bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't take too kindly to be when they're asked to leave.
Wow.
But the scariest part of doing security, I would say, is always the walk back to the car, not the shift itself.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Just because you will be, because when you're on shift, you're always alert. As soon as you finish your shift, you're exhausted.
Of course.
It's 4 a.m. and you've only got enough energy to get back into the car and drive home.
Yeah.
And you're already thinking about what you're going to do when you get home. You're going to have a tea and just going to, and slowly drift off. And, so the time when you need to be most aware is when you finish your shift, and then you're slowly walking back to the car. That's when you need to be the most aware, because that's when something is more likely to happen. And maybe someone or some people who you threw out of a club, and there may have been over 15 of them in a space of, say, 20 minutes or so. If you do something like that, okay, and they wait for you, so it's like forward planning is always something. So it's like I would park my car somewhere either very far away or fairly local, but I would know the route, and I would know the corners of that route, where people can conceal themselves, where they can hide themselves. So your awareness is absolutely essential. So it's like, I know I'm about to walk past a bin, and it's big enough to conceal someone should they be hiding behind it. Okay, maybe I'm going to stick to the other side a bit more. So you might be a little bit paranoid, but it absolutely pays to have that awareness.
That's absolutely crazy, because the most alert that I've ever been is now like if I go to Tesco's at this point in time and someone's stepping past that little stripy bit of tape on the floor, they'll catch hands if they're not careful. Ro has a question for you. She says, would you prefer to act as a stuntman, or have you considered choreography for a film before?
So I've choreographed some more low-budget stuff, and basically I do a lot of guest talks at universities on stunt work and fight choreography, and so how I get to practice and all that and put my skills into practice is when the students contact me and say, look, we really want to work with you because you're cool. And I'm like, So I will. I'll always do it. If schedule permitting, I'll always go in and help them with safety precautions. How to realistically make a fight scene look good. I'd help with the camera angles and everything. But yeah, I think to be a choreographer though, you would need to have worked as a performer first before getting into the choreography side.
Right. Okay.
So it's like, so I can only teach. I can only do dance choreography if I'm a good dancer, for instance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Absolutely. I've got, if I can get my feature film funded, which in a couple of years I hope will be a possibility, I will be choreographing the whole thing.
Well, dude, we've got a little bit of time, so why don't you tell me about your feature film that's coming up?
So it's called the Way of the Warrior. My original name for it was The Element of Change, and it's all about how you might react will be different according to how you feel. So it's like if I tell you a joke today and you're having a great day, you might find that joke really funny. If you're having a bad day and I tell you that same joke, you might, dude, come on, like stop.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the very same thing with martial arts and how you can be different and respond differently. So some people are very physically strong and their style is very forceful, very powerful. I'm like, yeah, but what happens if you're very run down? You're very tired. You haven't slept, and are you still able to do those things? And the answer is not as well. So, so the whole story is about how a guy is able to go from suddenly be like this, to something a bit more chill, The whole demeanor changes, and therefore the body language changes and the physical movements change. So my whole idea with the Way of the Warrior was how this bouncer who humiliate him and his team humiliate a local crime boss, and then which gets them into a lot of trouble. And then the lead character ends up escaping, and but he barely escapes. And then he meets someone who is able to coach him and actually calm that anger, and teach him how to move without compromising his efficacy of his movements. So the story was one to showcase that I'm able to act both. I can be mean, but I can also be very calm as well, which is what I am all the time anyway. Yeah, so it's that contrast, and I would then be able to showcase a lot of my martial arts training and practice over the years in the feature film. So I'm still working on that. We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. So, dude, thank you so much for coming on board. I really, really appreciate it. You're an absolute gem of a human being. You're so kind, so lovely, and everybody's super excited to see what you come up with in the future. So, Jon, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on board, dude.
Thank you for having me. I've had a wonderful time, and time has just flown by today. So thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure.
All right, dude. Thank you so much. You take care. I'll catch up with you soon.
Take care now. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Sophie.
Bye.
Do I just leave? Do I just...
Yeah.
Catch you later.
I'll kick you out. Bye. Wow. How nice is that guy?
Honestly, the most genuinely lovely man. As soon as we met via Zoom on this project I'm working on at the moment, I just warmed to him so much. He was just so friendly and lovely, and yeah, wow. And the things he was saying, I feel like I've been taught by a master.
I know.
Just like how to live my life.
I feel like everything he says you could just put on like a coaster or a mug or something and make money out of it.
Oh my god, yeah. No, honestly, that was just phenomenal, and I feel really honoured that we got to have him on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah, amazing.
So guys, we always like to show a little bit of content for you because you're so loyal and you join in and you watch these things, and it really makes a difference and helps me get something potentially off the ground one day. We are 12 weeks in, by the way.
We are 12 weeks in. But we've done 12 shows.
We've done 12 shows, and it's come a long way from where it started.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the first ones, it was just Ben sat in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Literally sat in front of the TV and doing like a pub quiz, and we've evolved to this show. We're hoping to get it out more and more and more. But do you know what? Above all, we just absolutely love doing it, and it's just amazing, and the content we get to produce with it, and it's so nice for us at the moment during lockdown to be able to stay creative and create this show. Speaking
of which, we had a little bit of fun this week on the content. As you know, we always show you content first.
I don't know about fun.
I had fun. We played a game called Dead Space. Now, for those of you who know what that game is, you understand that it is a terrifying game.
It's awful.
We also understand that Sophie is an absolute... What's the word for it?
What are you going to call me,
Worse. She's an absolute worse, and everything freaks her out. So, we recorded her and me playing the video game. It's fun. Let's just have a little look.
I want to have a heart attack. Oh my god, it's on you! Is it going to jump?
No, this is a loading screen. Okay, so Sophie, thank you so much for joining me here today. I've dragged her from the outside sun,
it's so
glorious,
sunny.
Lovely sun, to watch me play a game called Dead Space. You might have heard of it.
I want to have a heart attack. What's it about?
So
Ben, I'm going to have a panic attack.
It's a game based on space.
Space? I like space.
It's maybe got a few monsters that are in space as well.
Right, but it's not 3D, is it?
No, it's not. So I'm about to launch the game. You ready?
Can't I? I'm really frightened. I might cry.
Okay, you ready?
When does it get scary? Oh my god, I'm so nervous. What did it do then? Oh my Christ. Oh, Ben. Are you well?
So how do we think? Do you think we can play a little bit?
Yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Okay.
It's horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
Don't try this at home.
So we'll do a new game, and I'm gonna do it on. I'm not gonna do it on hard. I'll do it on medium. I can barely see that.
Where's the album cover for this?
Oh, big shout out to Martin for lending me the game. He gave me a whole bunch of games, and thank you to COVID for not giving me the opportunity to give them back yet.
So there's no album cover. Is it gonna jump?
No, this is a loading screen.
Okay. Called Dead Space because everybody dies.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry about everything. I wish I could just stop.
Oh, something's gonna jump, isn't it? Bloody hell. Oh, she's awful.
Strange.
Are they going into the space?
You'll be able to look her up once we're on board.
We're here to fix their ship, not the other way around.
So there's something on that ship, isn't there, that's gonna get them? God.
Who's the signal? More.
Never heard of a total communications blackout on one of these things. You'd think with 1,000 people on board, someone would pick up the phone.
1,000 people dead, oh God.
What is that?
Oh God, they're eating them. It's eating them, isn't it? It's eating them.
Sounds like they're not.
Lady, take us in. Let's see what needs fixing.
Oh no, you're gonna go to
Each other's
die.
engaged.
We're off track. We're gonna hit the hole. Hit the glass shields. Thank God this head is damaged. Switch to manual. Now.
Inside the magnetic field? Are you insane? Abort!
No! We can make it inside. Corporal.
Oh, fly away!
Too strong.
Oh no, God, no. Something's gonna jump, something's gonna jump. Something's gonna jump.
What the hell were you thinking? Were you trying to get us killed?
I just saved our asses, Mr.
No, you
If we
didn't.
had aborted at that speed and distance, we'd have
Go.
smashed right into the side of the ship.
Who's that?
Hold still, Isaac. I'm syncing up everyone's rig with the ship.
Oh, I thought it was a monster. This just ruins my idea of ever going to space. I haven't even seen a monster yet. I'm a mess. So that's you.
Yeah.
So do you have to kill the monsters?
Eventually, yeah.
God, scary games are scary 'cause it's like an interactive movie.
Yeah.
You're in it. It's you. Oh no. Oh, be careful, Ben. I just want to see one now. Get it over and done with. Oh, I'm so frightened.
Nothing's happened yet.
I know, it's the anticipation, isn't it? The fear of the unknown.
Yeah? Well, there's
Now,
not. There's
I
nobody
can
here.
see between my
Can't
hands.
pick up any
Like,
broadcasts.
I'm just letting everyone know that I have got my eyes open. I just can't see the full screen 'cause it's too much for me.
We can figure this out a lot sooner. Let's get that computer display up, Isaac.
Do you know where the monsters are, like, if you've done this before?
I remember vaguely when it starts happening,
So
yeah.
is it yet? Ben? Ben!
Watch.
That doesn't look good. She's taken a lot of damage.
I'm half watching. Like, I can see, like,
Our systems
the top
offline.
corner
Getting
of the
around can be
screen.
difficult.
Oh God, it's all going off!
What the hell was that?
Automatic quarantine must have tripped when the filtration system restarted. Everybody relax.
How can you relax?
I don't know. Something's in the room with us.
Jesus! Overfire! Overfire! Turn the power!
Come on.
Isaac, get the hell out of there!
The doors are locked. Run! Run, Isaac. Get the hell out of there.
actually shaking.
How was that?
Oh.
It was a bit of an ordeal, that, wasn't it?
It was really scary. but like, good fun when it was over.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like, when it was over, I was happy. When it was happening, I was genuinely like, I need to lock the front door. Is the front door locked? Why is it so dark in here? And then when I went to bed that night, I went to bed before you, and I was a bit frightened.
I didn't know that.
I didn't tell you.
Right, let's introduce our next and final guest. Her name is Raphi. She is a wonderfully talented musician and a great human being. I'm super excited to speak to her. Yeah, let's see where she's doing. Hello?
Hello?
Hey!
Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Very hay fevered up at the moment, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Pollen 2020 has come for me as well.
Oh, it's so strong this year. I'm so confused. I'm like, I've never suffered this bad in my life.
It's the planet testing us because they want to see if we can hide a sneeze while we're at Tesco's, trying to pretend we don't have COVID.
I know. They definitely don't want us out. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
Stay inside. How are you today? How are things with you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, I've actually had a nice relaxing day, which has been nice. I said this weekend I'm going to take it off because I've literally had no time off since being at home. And I think where I'm doing so much work, like this is my little studio at home. I mean, it's not much. I've just got a microphone, little setup going on. But I'm in here every day. So I was like, even on the weekends, and usually I'm not when I'm in the studio. Obviously, it's nice you go to a different place. You get to travel a bit and you have a time traveling there. So I said, like, this weekend I'm going to enjoy the sunshine whilst we've got it. So I've had a really nice relaxing day actually, and I'm excited to sing some songs. So
Awesome.
yeah.
That's really cool. So I've got somebody in the chat who has the same name as you but spelled differently, and they've just typed, what's her name?
No way. How's it spelled? With F?
Rafies, yeah.
Hi, fellow Raphies. I actually love it when people have the same names because when I was a kid, I didn't know anybody with the same name. And so as I was getting older, I started meeting people with the same name. I was like, oh my God, somebody else has my name. The name. I was like, that's best friend. Like, I loved it.
That's brilliant. So you were saying that you were like really busy kind of all this week and since lockdown. What kind of thing have you been up to?
So I've actually been, I'm not a producer per se, I'm a singer-songwriter, but I took it, actually before lockdown started, I just went through a really weird stage with my music and stuff, and I produced my first ever track that's called Unleashed, which I'm going to perform later, and I put that on Spotify, and it's just like a piano song, but from that I actually decided during this time I want to really hone into that, so I've done like a little EP, it's only a 3-song EP, which is coming out on the 12th of June, but I co-produced that, so I've been like really sitting there like every day trying to find out cool sounds, and like it's really geeky stuff that you don't need to know about it.
No.
But basically like I've been doing online sessions as well with people from like Germany, and I had one with a guy from Switzerland the other day, so I mean it's cool because you can actually work with people from around the world right now, so just been in sessions every day really and creating content. I've been filming my own music videos for the songs coming out.
Wow.
So yeah, trying to keep as busy as I can basically.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a good job of it. So wait, when you say like you're in session with someone, what kind is that? Creating music? Are you teaching? What's the vibe?
Yeah, so creating music, sorry, yeah. So it'll be like, I'll either have a little melody idea of a song that I want to create, and then we'll just start writing the track. It's kind of weird actually because it's such a different vibe from being in a room with someone to an online session, and some haven't worked out so well because it's been with people I don't necessarily know, and you just sometimes need that initial let's catch up and see how we vibe together really, but some of them have been amazing that I haven't known the producers too, so it's been really like a 50-50 I guess, but the majority I've really enjoyed it, and I've met some amazing people which I hope I can finally meet one day. So
yeah, just a reminder for everybody who is watching along with us this evening, remember any questions that you want to fire at her, learn about the music industry, how she creates her music, anything like that, please let us know in the chat, and we can fire those questions out. Now it's super interesting because I don't know a single creative who hasn't completely changed the way they work since lockdown, because we are all quite sociable creatures and we need that human content. So do you think that what you create has changed because of that?
Yeah, in a way, definitely it has. I mean, not so much for me because I feel like it was changing before lockdown, so I wouldn't say lockdown changed it all for me.
Sure.
Because I sort of went into a little bubble before lockdown happened, and I didn't go out for a few weeks, literally like a month. I was so in like a really weird headspace. I was like, I just want to work by myself for a bit and go back to the basics of how I started writing music and stuff. So I feel like I've been in lockdown for ages, and that's the only thing that's really changed me. I'm like, I want to get out and see people now.
Right, Raphi, it's such a pleasure to speak to you. Let's crack on with one of your songs, because I'm a little bit pressed for time, so I want to hear some gorgeous music from you.
Of course. So I'm going to sing Unleashed first, which is the song that's on my Spotify at the moment that I produced. So,
okay, all right.
Yeah, enjoy it. Oh, sorry. Yeah? Should I go? No, you go. Okay, this is called Unleashed. Here we go.
I'm fighting the demons that you unleashed, and I'm falling into the black hole on my knees. But something needs to change. The fear won't fade, they say. But I'm fighting the demons that you unleashed. So count to 10 and breathe again. When you dream in the night, they'll ruin your sleep. Let them in to see you strong. Get back up, you need to fall. Signs will guide you where you're wrong on this road that's long. I'm fighting the demons that you, fighting the demons that you unleash. And I'm falling into the black hole on my knees. But something needs to change. The fear won't fade, they say. But I'm fighting the demons that you unleash. And when they say you won't ever make keep the faith. So when steady wins the race, let them in to see you strong. Get back up, you need to fall. Signs will guide you where you're wrong on this road that's long. Fighting the demons that you I'm fighting the demons that you unleash. And I'm falling into the black hole on my knees. But something needs to change. The fear won't fade, they say. But I'm fighting the demons that you unleash.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Wow.
Well done, girl. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Wow, incredible stuff.
I've been doing so many lives now where it's like no audience as well, and I'm just like, thank you.
So strange, isn't it? Now, I've only got a couple minutes left with you, so I've got so many questions in the chat, so let's fire them off. First question, this is from Raphi. If you were to merge with all the other Raphis in the world, do you think we could overthrow the government?
Wait, say that again, you cut out a bit.
Good. If you were to merge with all the other Raphis in the world, do you think that you could overthrow the government?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Tom would like to know which artist most inspires you or has influenced your music the most?
That's a tough one because because my inspirations are like J-Lo, Alicia Keys, Luther Vandross. There's so many I can't really choose. George Michael is a big influence. Yeah, there's loads.
Okay, amazing. When did you start to write your own music?
When I was 12, I started writing music, and I actually found my old music the other day, and listening back the transformation now, I have to say I was not a good writer when I first started. I had a song called Jimmy Choo. I was like, wow.
Amazing. Right, so I've got Shep who says that such emotion in your singing, and like she says, how does she do that when she's just in a room with no audience? So, you know, hats off to you for doing all these lives and stuff.
Thank you so much, first and foremost. Thank you. I guess it's just a personal song to me. It's different when you've written a song, I guess, when you sing it. Maybe it's a singer thing, I'm not sure, but yeah, it comes from the heart, and I'm just singing because it means so much to me, and I guess that's just how it comes across. And hopefully, if I was in a room with an audience, I'd probably cry. So luckily, I'm not crying right now.
Brilliant. Raphi, thank you so much for coming on board. Everyone who's been watching, thank you so much for your questions and for following. If you want to find RaphiMusic on Instagram or just Raphi and Spotify, a lot of her stuff is amazing, so make sure you check it out. Also, if you've been watching the content at home and you want a bit more, part 2 to the video that you just watched is going up on YouTube in literally 5 seconds. So thank you so much for joining, and we will catch you all next week. Thank you so much, Raphi.
Thank you